Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Sunday services at Center for Spiritual Living, Denver. We are a loving and prospering community in the heart of Denver and online. We now conduct hybrid services at the historic Grant Avenue Community Center and Sacred Place, located at 216 South Grant Street, Denver, Colorado. All are welcomed here. A place, space, and face of love. We are a spiritual community practicing universal principles that enrich our lives. We are grateful that you have blessed us with your presence. While online, we'd love to know you're watching with us. Feel free to leave a comment and let everyone appreciate you. With everything going on, life can feel overwhelming. CSL Denver wants you to know we are here for you. Please know that our practitioners are available for personal prayer work. Our licensed spiritual practitioners' names and phone numbers are available on our website at csldenver.org. Or if you have a prayer request, feel free to email it to info@csldenver.org. For your convenience, you'll find clickable links in the description of this broadcast. Rev Elzia, along with all our guest speakers, practitioners, service coordinators, and musical inspirations, want you to know how truly grateful we are that you are with us today. Thank you for your continued support and participation in our services, workshops, and events, as well as providing financial contributions to our center. If you're interested in upcoming events and information, we send out weekly newsletters. Sign up by visiting www.csldenver.org. We deliver services in a hybrid format where we meet in person at 216 South Grant Street. We will also continue to live stream all services on Facebook and YouTube every Sunday. Find us on our respective channels as well as on New Thought Media Network. Again, thank you for your precious attention. Now prepare for engaging enlightenment.
There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. stand in this place of light and love. You can't have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. Such a beautiful garden. That garden is you.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Denver. My name is Tim Hancock. I'm a practitioner here at Center for Spiritual Living, Denver, and our guest speaker today is Reverend Chris Lahiff. So welcome, Reverend Chris. And let's just go ahead and close our eyes and take a cleansing breath. And let's just go ahead and take another one. Breathe in that breath of God. And breathe out all that you want to leave behind. And in this sacred breathing, we know there is but one power, one presence, one divine universe that is in, through, and around each and every one of us. And we know as we connect with this universe, that we are truly blessed. We are blessed with the wisdom, with the love, with the compassion, with the joy, with the prosperity, all that the sacred universe has to offer. And moving in today's service, we know that we are truly blessed with the words of the reading, with the words of Reverend Chris, with the technology, and all of the volunteers who have come to help. We know we are equally blessed with everybody in our presence in this room, as well as all those who are watching online, as well as all of those who are worshiping in their own way, bringing in the love of God however they see fit, however they choose. And so as we move into this service, we just simply express our gratitude for the joy, the love, the compassion that is God. And so it is. And our theme today is honoring your boundaries. And when I see that, I can't think of but one person to read from, and that's Marianne Williamson. And I know I've read this before, but you're going to have to deal with it because I think that is one of the most perfect things that we can say to ourselves and do for ourselves. And this is sometimes attributed to Nelson Mandela, but he actually got it from Marianne Williamson. And it's called Our Deepest Fear. And by the way, I do have copies of it that I put over on the table if you'd like to take some home with you. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. And it's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And from Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder, today I affirm the all good, and in this affirmation I accept the presence of love and repudiate every belief that hate has any power. I affirm peace and deny confusion. I affirm joy and declare that sadness has no place in my consciousness. I affirm that God is over all, in all, and through all. There is nothing in my past that can limit me or limit my future. There is one life. That life is God. That life is the only life there is, and that life is my life now. And so it is. And now we have music from Susan singing a
Susan Clark with you to provide some special music for the service. I always like to extend a welcome to any of you who might be watching us either now or later online. We are so happy you have made the choice to join us. I picked out a song by Daniel Nemod, and it's an older song of his on his album that's entitled Water. But it's a new song to me. I just learned it. And this song is called To Be Free. Because when you learn to set boundaries, you really kind of set yourself free. That's the way I see it anyway. Okay. I have made a decision about my life. It may be a strange surprise to some. I have always thought I wanted what so many want, but it's to a different conclusion that I have come. I see water rushing through an ancient riverbed. I see snowfall floating high above the hill. I see an eagle soaring to the red horizon, and I know that's how I'm meant to live. Oh, I need to be free. I will go where the wind will carry me to be free and long to be free. You won't see me playing any kind of lottery. You won't catch me wishing on a falling star. You will find me wherever I am called to be, wherever kindness and beauty are. For I think of all mankind as my family. This entire precious planet is my home. So let others build their borders, walls, and boundaries. I will fly above them all, even if I must go alone. Oh, I need to be free. I will go where the wind will carry me to be free and long to be free. When I hear a child singing, when I see a dolphin swimming, when I watch a dancer moving like the wind, it you.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's great to see your faces again, and good morning to everybody online as well. Okay, so boundaries. I'm going to start with a story about my introduction to boundaries. I didn't know boundaries existed before this time. So I'm going to go back in time a ways to my college days, early college days. And somehow, like right out of high school, I had a friend who had already gone off to college the year before and had already dropped out, came back and said he wanted to start again the next year. And so I partnered up with him and somehow convinced my parents that I should live in an apartment off campus because he had already lived on campus and said the dorms, you know. And my parents bought it and they put us in an apartment. And so as you can imagine, a bunch of 18-year-olds, we had like 6 or 7, you know, pretty close friends that would visit our apartment that all lived in the dorms. And so they really liked being in an apartment too on their spare time. And so it was like clockwork every day. You knew when the cafeteria was done serving food, because about 15 minutes later, you know, the car would pull up and 5 or 6 guys would roll out and we're here. And we were right there with them. We were happy, you know, straight out of high school. Yeah, let's have fun. It's great to see you. Hello. And then, you know, the next night it's the same. Next night it's the same. And it was probably somewhere around 3 or 4 solid weeks of nightly visitors. But we didn't even we're having fun. We're encouraging them. But as it starts to go on a little bit, you know, like sometimes it might be like 4 of them show up. You're like, oh, where's so-and-so and so-and-so? Oh, he's studying because he has a test tomorrow morning. Oh, and he's working on paper. And I'm thinking like, oh, I got a test tomorrow. What are we doing? And so like, we're just kind of slowly like building up these little resentments. Like, man, these guys again. But they had no idea. We didn't give them any cues that we were maybe tiring of their nightly presence. And so it kind of, you know, they would show up and my friend and I, roommate would be like, kind of, you know, like give a quiet glance, like eye roll, here we are again. And then finally it like get built up. And I remember it was a Sunday night and we're just kind of getting done. You know, we got the house or the apartment put back together, you know, clean up the mess that's there at the end of every night. We didn't clean it every night, but this night we did. And it's a Sunday, we're ready to settle down and here they come. And it was disproportionately unfair, our reaction to them. Like, what are you guys doing here? Again, you can't be here every night. From here on out, you have to call before you come. And we just kind of like laid off all these different little beefs with them in not the kindest way. And as it turns out, you know, they're okay, sorry. And they left. We didn't see them again for like, I'd say probably about another 10 days. Didn't hear a phone call, like nothing. And, you know, so we were kind of wondering, you know, how did we make them feel? That probably wasn't great. But, you know, we were young, resilient, and they needed a place to go. And so, you know, at some point they reached back out and we were able to have a more productive conversation of, you know, like, hey, this is how we were feeling. This is what we would like in the future. But anyway, that is my first introduction to boundaries, which I'm grateful that, you know, nowadays we're learning more about this kind of stuff. Like you mentioned Marianne Williamson when you talk about boundaries. When I saw boundaries, I went straight to Brene Brown. And then in the global theme that's talking about boundaries, they referenced somebody named Prentice Hemphill. So if we'll go ahead and pull up a slide, our first quote of the day comes from this person, Prentice. They say, boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and me simultaneously. And we were good friends with those guys in college. We didn't dislike them because they wanted to be at our place every night. They weren't doing anything wrong. We gave them encouragement, essentially. But we started not necessarily like loving them in the best way that we could. And we weren't loving ourselves if we just let it continue on, even though it was detrimental to us. So when I opened this up, there was a term in this global theme that I had never heard before, so I had to look it up. The term is generative boundary. And so it's not attributed to anybody. They say it kind of came from the psychology movement and then some other academic movement, that it just kind of became an organic term. And what it means is it addresses the fact that sometimes boundaries feel like walls, or even can feel like a punishment. Like I think our friends back in college probably felt a little punished when they're like, you can't be here tonight, and it was kind of harsh. And so that's typically how boundaries used to maybe elicit feelings for a lot of us. But the idea of generative boundary is that it is set intentionally, and it's set to enhance the relationship, to enhance our own lives, as well as those that we're with. So when I looked up, there's some wonderful stuff out there by Brene Brown, and all of them are really wonderful. But one of the things that Brene said that I really liked is, she's done decades of research around vulnerability and courage. One of the things that she discovered, here's another a quote. So I'll read the quote in just a second. She discovered that the people that she found to be the most compassionate were the ones who were the most boundaried. And that didn't make sense to her. Like it's awesome. Like I like her research because it was all, I resonate with her. She did not think that that would be the case at all. She thought the compassionate would be, I'm going to expose what I consider one of my growing edges is people pleasers. You might think that they're the most compassionate because we're always, we're willing to give until we're empty. But Brene's like, the ones that have the most compassion and that can sustain it are the ones that have the best boundaries. Because essentially, like a boundary is we're telling the world what we're willing to accept and what we're not. And if we're unable to do that, then we will just keep pouring from that cup until we have nothing left for ourselves. So I'll give Diego pull that slide up now. So Brene Brown, she has said, if you don't teach the world how to treat you, it will teach you. And I love that because I think it's right in line with the Science of Mind teachings and what Ernest Holmes taught. It's very similar to affirmative prayer. If you just pray and say, God, give me something good, you might get it, but in affirmative prayer, we pray specifically for what it is that we want, we wish to experience in our life. And we say it with clear intention. They talk about when you're manifesting in the universe, it's like opening up, you have the whole Sears catalog in front of you. Again, I'm dating myself, but the huge Sears catalog. But if we just never get specific or clear about what we want, about, our boundaries of what we expect from others and what we expect to offer others, if we don't get clear on it, we're just kind of at the whim of the whole universe. It's telling us. And so part of the work of boundaries really is about getting clear ourselves. Well, what is it that I wish to experience? What do I expect, from my friends coming over so that I don't feel used or the list goes on. So the most compassionate people are those who have thought about it the most and really set up and created those boundaries. Now, boundaries are important with ourselves as well. We all have life pulling at us. We have responsibilities, families, jobs, community organizations that we might be a part of, things that we like to do. And they're all calling for our attention. But I know, like speaking for myself, all those things, I'll do this other thing when I get done with those. Those other ones, though, they never seem to get done. And so I'm always kind of putting myself last. And again, that's not helping anybody in the world. It feels like you're doing a good thing when you're being compassionate and giving. But if you're putting yourself into a different state, into a different place where you're hiding and dimming your own light in order to do that, you're depriving the world of the gifts that was yours to give. So learning how to set my own intentions of what I expect for myself and from myself in relationship to how I am treating myself. I'll give kind of an example. I was talking earlier about, I've moved back and I'm still kind of, looking for some employment, and I'm also taking care of my family. I'm the more stay-at-home type, helping with the kids, and also some personal things that I've been wanting to develop and work on. And it gets like so overwhelming, feeling like there's so much and I just can't get to it. But then the boundary that it was actually my sponsor, who's Reverend Chris Alexander, really helped me out. Just set the individual boundaries. Oh, it's kind of a good coincidence too. She was the one that put together the global themes for this month. So yeah, it's all coming together for me now. But she made the suggestion, like, set 1 hour for what you have to do for your family. Set 1 hour what you have to do for your job search. Set 1 hour what you have to do for your personal endeavors. And just little boundaries, little things like that help remind me what's important. And I can tell too, like when I've slipped off and when I'm not. We start to notice ourselves. It's all connected. So our energy, our emotions. I know when I've slipped off, when I'm finding myself a little more irritable with people, a little less patient, maybe with my children or others. I'm pretty patient out in the world. If I catch myself losing patience out there in the world, because I am a, chronic people pleaser. If I'm losing my patience out in the world, I'm in a dark spot and I need to do something like quickly. So it's important, that we set and keep boundaries within ourselves as well. Now, one other thing, I kind of alluded to it in the beginning is when we're talking about generative boundaries and, creating, space with loved ones, like this might be something that a relationship that you've been with somebody for a long time and this thing's been needling you, and maybe it's been building up that pressure cooker and ready to go. And maybe it's something that I know myself, I can build up steam, let it off over and over again for the exact same thing. But the way to break that is by creating generative boundaries. And I think one of the key things for me in creating it is, how do we communicate it? When we're setting a boundary, especially with somebody who we've had a long relationship with, and this has never seemed like a problem. And now all of a sudden to them, it's like, feels like it's coming up out of the blue. But for you, this is something that maybe in your head, has been an issue for quite some time. And so it's delicate, very delicate. That's another thing that Brene Brown says, is she's not telling us that this is easy. This is not easy, but she does say it's worth it. And so for me, one of my growing edges, and this goes back to about 2009 when I started learning how to communicate better. I didn't know how to do conflict resolution very well when I was young. It was just not something that was taught in my schools, wasn't really taught in my family. It was kind of just a skill I needed to learn. And as soon as I did, I've been working on it ever since for 15 years, and I feel so green in it still, because it's hard to have those difficult conversations. And so I've learned the subtle ways of opening of, dear, this is in no way an attack. I promise it's not critical. It's just something that I've been thinking about. It's not a judgment. I overdo it sometimes. Sometimes I use too many words. That's something that my wife says frequently. Too many words, Chris. And I love her for that, because I'm using her right now. Rein it in, Chris. But learning how to express things in soft ways. Because if it's somebody we care about, we don't want to hurt them. We don't want to punish them or make them feel bad, especially for something that they didn't know was bothering us, something that they didn't know might bother somebody. So the last thing we want to do is create more pain, more dissonance. And so learning, effective and kind communications, that we're going to, have some shared expectations. Coming in and calling them boundaries is probably even a not so gentle start, just because that word carries stuff. I think in time, the more we talk about it, maybe that word will be softened a little. But until then, just learning how to communicate it. One of my favorite sayings that I've heard from somebody recently, and it was, say what you mean and mean what you say, but don't say it mean. So if you can put all three of those things together, you're on the right track. And so this whole idea of the boundaries that we have and that we create with others, they shift over time. We don't have to feel like I'm saying this now, I'm laying down the law, and that's how it's going to be forever. There's different types of boundaries. I read an article that described them as like a cell. Some cells in our body are permeable and things can come and go, and nutrients and whatnot, and other cells are not. And so maybe there's some kind of hard lines to where, you're not going to give on your integrity in this spot. Maybe there's a workaround. And then there's other ones that, maybe they are a little more negotiable, but they have to come to the light in order to deal with them. And so all that stuff that I just rambled on, why is that important to the monthly theme, which is the life authentic? I think it's talking about like what Marianne Williamson was saying. Our call in life is to be, to bring the gifts that we have, to not waste them. And life can be challenging. People can be challenging. So when we're young, a lot of us learn to kind of dim that light that I talked about. We have our own gifts and our things that we want to do and share. And it usually starts fairly young with people. It'll be maybe a teacher or a relative, somebody that says, ooh, that makes me uncomfortable when you do that. Please don't do that. We bring something that we're proud of and expressing, and somebody is quick to say why that doesn't work and why you're foolish for thinking. These little things that society unconsciously does. It doesn't mean harm. Our parents didn't mean harm. Our teachers didn't mean harm. They thought that they were helping us. And I catch myself doing that with my kids. They'll ask different questions about how to do things and I'll catch myself every now and then wanting to corral them into the way that I think and the way that I feel. One was about kind of social interactions. And what I realized before I spoke was that you want the right people to be your friends. And so if you're shifting who you are to fit in order to get this person to like you, you might be missing out on the best friend of your life over here, because people can really, we are social beings and we really feel that need to be with people. And so it's a survival feeling within us. And so it's really hard sometimes if you're like, that's my only shot at having a friend or companion. It can cloud our thinking. And so that's another reason why it's so important to be clear on who and what we are. What do I expect from the world and what do I expect to the world? When we know that, then when times come up, we can ask ourselves, am I in integrity with that? So that we're not shaping ourselves to be with the other person that's maybe not the right one. I'm going to use a quote from Kurt Cobain. So it's on, yeah. He said, and it's a hard quote to find, so don't necessarily hold too firm to this, but he said, I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for what I am not. I looked up this quote because I thought I'd heard it years ago, something similar, but I heard it was like, I would rather have like 2 people that like me for who I am than 100 people that like me because of what false front I'm putting out there, false image of myself. And so that's, for this global theme, the monthly theme of the life authentic. It's all a call, like the world is really pleading to us. I'll go ahead and jump to that last quote from Howard Thurman before I start. I love this quote, and I'm guessing many of you have heard it as well. It's, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. So when we look at out like nature, have you noticed like we look at insects, even just like, say like a butterfly, and there's hundreds of different types of butterflies. Somebody else might like dragonflies or grasshoppers. We look at trees and plants and flowers and all the various things, and we just we revel in it, like, oh my God, this uniqueness and such diversity. We love all the differences. It's what makes the world so colorful, magical. I mean, we're still, at the same time that we're losing species all the time, we're still discovering species all the time. Still, in this day and age, the ocean is completely like uncharted. So we love and celebrate the diversity of the infinite universe, but then we tamp it out amongst people. We like diversity in all these areas except in the people around us. And I think, it's a protection mechanism of some, anything that feels unknown or different, goes all the way back to our earliest days of survival. It raises little flags. But we have evolved as a species, and we can start to realize, if I'm feeling uncomfortable because of this person that's living their life in a way that's different than mine, but does it really harm me? Like, we have evolved enough that we can start to reason. What is it that, we can ask questions. Why does that trigger me when I see this person acting like that? Why does it make me uncomfortable? Is there something that maybe I wish I was doing that I'm not? And so maybe that's why I'm really upset, is because I'm seeing somebody else who's living their true, authentic self unabashedly. And I think they're weird, but they seem happy. So then we can start to ask, do I have to worry about feeling weird? I know that if, like the Kurt Cobain, if I'm doing what's in my heart, if I'm doing what's in my mind, and I feel good about it, and integrity, if I look weird, which sometimes I do, if I'll dance in a weird spot or something, that's something that children hate. They do not like it when their parents sing in the middle of something. But if I'm doing and living true to what's in my heart, my authenticity, let the chips fall where they may. So really, I think just encouraging us to not let society dictate to us how we need to be in order to make other people comfortable. And then when we do it, this is one of the best things. When I learn and I can speak with the person and express the generative boundary, express the new agreement that I would like us to discuss, it gives the other person permission too. It gives them time to pause and think about, like, what do they want? What are they willing to accept from the world? So when we step up, it gives others around us permission to step up and encouragement. One thing that Brene Brown said is, one of the fears is that they're going to leave me. This person's not going to come around anymore, or whatever, it could be boundaries with situations. And she said, what she has found is that in most cases, it strengthens the relationship exponentially. It's a huge shift, that it's deeper intimacy when you have been able to express your feelings from your heart to another person. It's deeper intimacy, and it strengthens those relationships. And she said, there will be some that will leave. You'll express to them what you expect from them. They may say that they agree, or they may not. They might just get up and walk out then. Or they may say, but then they just go, ignore it and keep doing what they do. And essentially what she says is, let them go. If there's somebody that's unwilling to respect what is true in yourself to who you are, it's okay. We're on different paths. And to not be so afraid of it, because again, when we say no to one thing, we're saying yes to something else. And so we should be firm and knowing and clear in our no's, and then enthusiastic with our yeses. So today, our affirmation, I know Diego's on it. Thank you, Diego. Our affirmation for the day says, I create and maintain generative boundaries. Can we all say it together? I create and maintain generative boundaries. And then our call to action is, can you repeat it again? Our call to action is the exact same thing. I create and maintain generative boundaries. So that's what I want to encourage for all of us. It's something that I'm reminding myself because, my people-pleasing tendencies is not a good thing. It needs balance. It comes from a place, And so this is my perfect reminder that this week I am going to pay attention. And when I see a boundary come up or a conversation that I can have, I'm going to take a pause and I'm going to think about how can I say this nicely? And then I'm going to engage with the person or situation in a more mindful way. So with that said, I invite us to just go inside. We'll take it into prayer. Just taking a deep breath and settling in wherever we are, however you like to be. So I bring my awareness to that infinite life presence that is all life, that is love with a capital L, that is all that exists. It is all mind, all thought. It is all matter and all of the cosmos. There is only this one thing. And I know that I am that. I know that everybody hearing these words is that. And I know that as we draw our attention to it, to that which is within, to that which we are, that experience and feeling of it expands in our hearts. So I affirm and avow that when opportunities come to create generative boundaries, when challenges arise, I affirm that Spirit's mind, the one mind of Spirit, more than whispers, it makes it clear that this is an opportunity, that Spirit shows when we still our minds and listen exactly what we are for, exactly where we stand, where to let in and where to let go. So I know that right now, the authenticity within each of us, that whisper, that calling that says, this is the gift for me to give at this time, that those gifts become clear. Courage rises because we know that when we're doing what's in our heart, we cannot fail. It is only the experience of living it that is needed. So in gratitude for each and every person hearing these words, gratitude for each and every person on their own individual, personal, spiritual growth journeys, and grateful for the law, this creative mechanism that we affirm our word into, that we pray into, and that we create through that one infinite mind. I am thankful for all of it. And I simply know that love is continually growing and expanding just as the universe is. And as we say these words, we step into that flow. We can affirm it together by saying these words of, and so it is. Thank you. Back to Tim.
Thank you, Reverend Chris. For some reason, you were talking to me today. So, and now we are so grateful and blessed for everyone's support here at Center for Spiritual Living Denver. whether it's in time, treasure, or talent, and especially during these times of change. Whether this is your first time joining us or you're a returning community participant, we want to thank you for your continuing financial support and the important work that we are striving to provide. Right now, there are several ways that you can make your financial contribution to the Center for Spiritual Living Denver. The information is running along the bottom of the screen, or you can place your gift in the basket that's going around. Now, please repeat with me our usual affirmation. Put your hand over your heart if you'd like with your gift and repeat, "This perfect gift is spirit informed, circulating and blessing all that it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive." And so it is. Okay, and we have one issue of Science of Mind magazine, and it's available for sale for $7 at the fellowship table, so get it while it's hot. And we have older magazines that are free on the fellowship table. The Science of Mind is a bi-monthly magazine. There are other things over there, handouts and so forth, that you may want to look at, and if you choose to, go ahead and pick some up. Today we're going to have our Divine Dialogue right after service until 12 noon. Join Reverend Chris and the practitioners. We'll have some coffee and tea, and it's all ready for you. And just discuss what's ever on your mind regarding today's talk or anything spiritual. And mark your calendars for Sunday, July 27th, which is next Sunday. That's our community cafe. And Teresa Cardenas, our practitioner emeritus, is going to be bridging spirit and psychic, integrating religious science and Jungian, Carl Jung, I guess, depth psychology. And what we do is we share our gifts of food, and we have a circle and we eat and we have our discussion and our presentation. It's really a nice, casual, enjoyable gathering for a Sunday. So I encourage you all to come and join us for the Community Cafe, and those online, please come as well. And the Curiosity Corner is at the back. We are bringing in our gently used items that we have used and loved and want somebody else to love. They're back there. The prices are on the table. There's CDs, DVDs, there's tarot cards, there's books, anything. Go ahead and look at it. There's a little basket back there to throw your payment in, and just enjoy it the way we have enjoyed it. And also, we're blessed to have New Thought Media, and Diego as our Sunday service producer. We invite you to go to www.ntmedia.org and check out what they have. They have over 40 hours of weekly broadcast programs, and we do have printed schedules over here on the table for those of you who'd like to see what they offer, and go ahead and pick one of those up. And again, today we are truly blessed for everyone who's chosen to come in to CSL Denver this morning and also show up online. Please join us again after after service for Divine Dialogue. We know that as we move through the rest of the year, the Divine Beloved is guiding and loving each and every one of us. So thank you for joining us. And now let's close out with Karen Drucker singing, "I Am So Grateful."